just crazy how people just spend all their time thinking, this is the most creative, unique idea, and I'm gonna create a wall, I'm not gonna tell anybody about it, and when we launch, it's just gonna be like this whirlwind of success, and they're gonna want me on Oprah and all this stuff, and it's just never the case. Do not keep your startup idea secret, okay? Listen to me right here. Focus on this video. Don't do it. Don't do stealth mode. Don't be secretive. Don't pretend like you can't share it. There is so many more upsides to sharing your ideas. I'm gonna walk you through a few different ones. And I'm also gonna challenge you at the end of this video. Is secret really, like, what are you doing with that? But anyways, to me, the opportunity is great. By sharing your idea publicly, you're gonna get feedback from customers, potential employees, investors. By keeping it secret, the challenge is you're not gonna get that feedback. You're not gonna get anybody to challenge your ideas. You're not gonna get any real world experience. You could actually be running into people that have the knowledge to save you years off your life that you'll never get because you didn't go first and say, hey, I'm thinking of going down this market. Now, here's the deal. I'm not saying you share your secret sauce. If you figured out an algorithm, a recipe, etc., that it makes it unique, cool, keep that to yourself. But to say, I can't share my general idea, I can't talk about the customers I want to serve and the market I want to be in and how I might approach it at a high level, that's just crazy talk. And I'm going to break it down for you because look, I get it. When I was building my company Timely, well, not company, Flowtown, Timely was a product we built, and I thought I had the cat's meow. I thought I had the most interesting thing in the world. And check it out. All it did was allowed you to give us your Twitter account, we'd analyze your tweets, and we would schedule the tweets based on the time the algorithm told us it should go out for the most engagement. This was earth-shattering. I mean, think about that concept. Revolutionary. So when people are like, what are you working on? I can't say. I was worried one of these other Twitter tools out there would steal the idea, right? Because I'm like, look, it's kind of a novel idea, but it's easy to implement. And I didn't tell anybody. Now, luckily, that only lasted 2 months. We built the product, we brought it to market. But that was probably the only time in my life, because I know better, that I actually kept the idea secret for maybe kind of some of the reasons that you guys might be thinking for yourselves, but was not founded on anything. At the end of the day, there's a whole lot of stuff I want to share with you. Number one is big companies. If you actually want a big company to steal your idea, you've clearly never worked in a big company, because in those businesses, they are crazy slow. They plan on like 1 year, 3 year, 5 year strategy plans. If you bring up a really innovative, cool idea, it'll get queued up to talk about in like 2 more quarters, just even to discuss. And then if they actually try to do it, and again, if you've ever been part of a big company, it takes them months to execute. As a startup, you have the idea, 3 weeks later, you can have a product in the market. Totally different pace. Now, what's great about sharing your idea publicly, especially with big companies, is you might find a partner to partner with to give you distribution. You guys can own the intellectual property, you can build the product, and then these big companies can get your solution in front of their customers. So that's the upside of actually sharing. Again, not your secret sauce, but just in general, the kind of market and solution you want to build for. Number 2 is the VCs that you'll discover, because they'll do 2 things. One, you might actually find somebody that's going to invest in your idea, which is always a nice upside. But more importantly for me, and the reason why I share my ideas with investors, is because I want to know the other companies that are out there doing this. I want to know, is this really something unique? Because they see innovation all the time. They have a filter, they have a way they think about it, and they can give me a quick feedback from a very credible source on how I should think about moving forward. But understanding, hey, there's 3 other companies, not the same idea, but similar markets, similar problems they're solving. Just be aware of them. That's really important. Maybe they know that a direct competitor that's going to do the exact same thing just raised $50 million of funding. Then you have a decision, do I want to pursue this idea or maybe this other one that I have? So like VCs will not only provide potential capital, but they'll also tell you who's underground, who you don't know about. They're not stealth, but you just might not see, they're not written about in the news yet, that might be working on something similar. So super powerful. The third area is other entrepreneurs. Okay, now I learned this with clarity because I was building a marketplace for other entrepreneurs to get connected to each other over the phone. And every time I shared that idea, every time, this guy Carl Jacobs' name would come up. Every time. It was like, oh, have you ever heard of Ether, Carl Jacobs, etc. 1999, 2000, raised 25 million bucks, built this company, sold it to AT&T. I kept hearing it. So finally I reached out to Carl. The truth is having somebody like him who became an advisor. Now, initially I just wanted to get some feedback on the product direction, but having somebody who's been there, already gone through the process, sold a company, different time, different market, different solution, was invaluable. And that is the opportunity you're missing if every time somebody asks you, like, what are you working on? Oh, it's, it's still in stealth. Get over it, let it go, talk about it openly, blog about it, look at the comments, get feedback. Like, it's just crazy. Not only that, the other people could be people you end up hiring. I ended up getting Carl as an advisor. You could maybe get a co-founder or hire a great engineer or a designer or an operation person, but you won't get that keeping it secret. And the last thing I want to say is a little side note, because it really, again, obviously I think you should be a bit more open with your ideas, is two things. If you ask somebody like myself, I get these emails every day. I work with entrepreneurs all the time. I put out these videos and they email me and they go, hey Dan, I got this thing I need to ask you about, but first would it be cool if you sign an NDA? All right, just so you know, alarm bells go off that you are an amateur and you have no clue what you're talking about. I would never sign an NDA, and it's just for a simple reason, same reason most VCs would never sign an NDA for the first conversation. I don't want to be responsible that something happens in the future that you even had maybe the basis of suing me for. It's not worth the risk. I don't care. You need my help. You're asking me for my advice, and then you want me to introduce risk into my life that in the future, if I happen to invest in another company that's similar to yours and you feel like I took some of those ideas and shared it with them, totally unfounded. I would never do that, and it's not my style. I always disclose. I would never sign an NDA. VCs would never sign an NDA. You'll look like an amateur, so just don't do it. Two, are you really gonna sue? Think about that. Are you really gonna sit there and think about all the people that's ever signed an NDA and then go, man, I think they told this person about my idea or whatever? Look, like I said, just don't share your secret sauce. There's no reason. If you have an algorithm, you can talk about like a Google or an Instagram, whatever. At a high level, you can talk about the idea. You might have some core technology that's unique and people might be like, that's cool. How do you do this part? You go, well, that's kind of part of our algorithms we really don't discuss much. That's legit. I'm game for that. But don't keep things secret. The upside from potential investors or understanding the market to other entrepreneurs that might be advisors, or you could maybe bring them onto your team. And even big companies for partnerships and distributions will be key. So obviously the theme, what I want to challenge with you is share your idea. So if you have one, if you're working on an idea that isn't even public yet, leave a comment below. I want to hear from you. I want to celebrate the creation process with you. I want to share the fact that you're giving an example for the rest of the world and everybody watching this video that we should share publicly our ideas. So as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel to get other tips on how to start and grow your business. I'd also encourage you to join my newsletter where I send out invites to exclusive events, free training videos, and other community contests. And if you want to keep going, check out these videos. I'm excited to have you here. See you next week. Boom!